I'm so scared right now.
Yeah,
This is...
it's going to be great. Echoes of Azeroth, because it's pulling from all the 9 previous expansions.
My name is lead developer.
Alex, we have some suggestions that come by the wayside from some of the people that are fans of the show. We're always happy to get those. Clayton Calix sent us a video that he wanted us to react to. Is that right?
Yeah, it was a little bit ago. We've just been inundated with drinking halls.
Yes, there's been drinking halls aplenty. The video that we've been given is from Labat, and it's I made a World of Warcraft expansion with AI. Oh, this is going to be fun for you, Alex.
Wonder how old this video is.
It is 1 billion years old. Here we go. Echoes of Azeroth.
Whoa, wait a minute, hold on. I know what you're thinking. What in the is World of Warcraft Echoes of Azeroth?
Yeah,
well,
what is it?
After learning about Activision Blizzard's patented use of AI when it comes to its properties, which I covered in a previous video,
sure,
I had a thought. If Blizzard can do it, couldn't anybody? After all, there are public forums and wikis that have documented the story, lore, and characters of World of Warcraft over the past 20 years. Could an individual take this data and use artificial intelligence to try to make a mock-up of their own World of Warcraft expansion?
Sure.
World of Warcraft Echoes of Azeroth.
Okay, so first of all, just pause for a second. Are you following what's going on so far? Because it's outside my wheelhouse, so...
Essentially, apparently, Activision Blizzard uses AI to help do stuff.
Yes.
Somehow.
Azeroth is the answer to that question.
Right.
I put together 15,000 pages of publicly accessible documents pertaining to the entire history of the Warcraft franchise and asked ChatGPT, based on what it learned about World of Warcraft, could it help me write the next chapter in the series?
No.
Now, to give you an idea of the making for comparison, remember that one series about a beautiful half-giant who saves some disfigured magic kid living in a staircase?
Oh, God.
Sorry, it's me, Hagrid.
That entire series is about 4,500 pages. This World of Warcraft project nearly triples that.
Oh, God.
There's a couple of goals for this video.
Oh, God.
One is to parody what World of Warcraft expansions have become, as well as to serve as a commentary on how formulaic game trailers are in the modern age. It's also meant to shine a light on how helpful or harmful artificial intelligence can be, given its specific use case. Now,
okay, first of all, I'm going to assume that this ends up being more harmful than helpful, just out of the gate.
When was this video made is my question really quick. I'm gonna look that up on YouTube.
It was a month ago.
A month ago? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So that means it's given into the newest expansion of Warcraft, which means it's going off of the last 9 expansions.
Great. Okay.
So this has an idea, but also I would like to just preface that entire thing with the fact that they do have the Chris Metzen back on the WoW dev team, essentially, and he was one of the original guys that helped create Warcraft, StarCraft. He was working on Overwatch and Diablo, but he was originally like the guy with the big picture ideas and stuff and world building for WoW. And he had left in 2016.
Oh, okay.
But he is back, and apparently they're trying to do newer things within the world, as they've said, and I've been listening to some stuff. Some of the stuff they want to do going forward is not just like, I guess, using content just that was in Warcraft, the RTS games. They're trying to do they're like, we want to be able to do newer things. So this is probably going to be very not newer things.
Not newer things. Okay.
That's my guess. Good. That's my prediction is this is going to be story beats and stuff that have been seen before, which, I mean, obviously that happens a lot, but I'm guessing it's going to be war and the old gods and titans and evil guy does thing, wrecks place, and then you guys say, you know,
I love when evil guy does bad thing. It's my favorite.
Yeah, bad guy does bad thing.
I'm so scared right now.
Yeah, it's going to be great. Echoes of Azeroth, because it's pulling from all the
Greetings,
9
adventurers.
previous
My name is
expansions.
lead developer Jin Erickman, and today we're thrilled to give you a first look at our most ambitious upcoming expansion yet, Echoes of Azeroth.
Cool.
History is woven into every facet of life in Azeroth, and for 20 years we've built the World of Warcraft together. But when the fabric of space-time begins to unravel, it's going to be up to you to bridge the gap and save Azeroth from the Echoing Isles, islands that drift between the past and the present, holding keys
Timeless
to the
Isles, got
mysteries
it.
of the Echo Stones, to the ruins of Valoran, a city adrift in the timeline, revealing secrets lost to time.
All right, hold on. So the Timeless Isle is already a thing.
Oh, okay.
That is a thing that was involved in Pandaria. It's an island that exists outside of time, essentially, hence timeless.
Sure.
So it's, as the characters or NPCs tell you, it's just perpetually this exact noon all the time here.
Oh, sure.
You know. But yeah, so currently one of the things going on in World of Warcraft is time rifts, which are alternate timelines that are kind of bleeding into ours, and we're to have to fix them.
Sure.
So yeah, I can see this being a thing that AI would pick up on, especially with Bronze Dragonflight bullshit throughout the years. The Caverns of Time being a thing. Time travel is pretty relevant in World of Warcraft, and making sure you preserve the timeline has been a constant theme, but it's also a theme they've broken at least once, and I think they plan on breaking it again, given some of the stuff that's been going on in the current expansion. But when deep lore here now, back in Pandaria, for instance, on the Timeless Isles, what happened was one of the people there is the one that helped Garrosh escape his trial. I don't think you played during that, but essentially Garrosh had taken over the Horde and been just a ruthless, brutal dictator. So we sacked Orgrimmar, we laid siege to the entire city, both Horde and the Alliance, took Garrosh down, and he was going to stand trial, and then one of the Bronze Dragons helped him escape to an alternate timeline, Draenor. Or as you would have known it when you played, Outland.
Oh, okay. Yep.
So Draenor is Outland before the demons came in and wrecked the place up.
Oh.
And so it was an alternate timeline, but also a familiar place that you've been in game. So that timeline is just a parallel, essentially. Not our Azeroth, not our timeline, it's a different one, but we're exploring it. So they've broken that once. It's not our timeline, it's someone else's, but we also took people from that timeline and brought them over to our existence.
Oh.
So that's what Warlords of Draenor was anyways. So
super simple.
Making sure you super simple. I honestly, a lot of people I feel didn't like Warlords being that for what it was, but honestly, the storytelling was fine.
Sure.
But yeah, so I can see this island existing back, forward, and present through time. That's not. Yeah, I can see where AI would get that.
You'll discover that the most valuable thing in World of Warcraft, more than
is
beer
love.
or gold, is time. We wanted to honor the time players
Love in
who spent
Warcraft.
with us, both the overarching theme of the
Make
story
love,
of
not
Echoes of
Warcraft.
Azeroth, as well as the new playable characters that accompany.
I feel that was.
Meet the new races joining our
Oh
fight.
boy.
The timeless, ethereal beings with a connection to Azeroth's vast history.
Wait.
Hailing from the very dawn of Azeroth, the Timeless existed before the continents were formed.
Timeless.
They lived in the vast expanses of the cosmos, observing Azeroth's growth.
Great.
The Celestial Nexus, a vast city located at the conjunction of multiple timelines.
Oh, okay.
Timeless come with the ability Time Phase, ability to briefly rewind certain
Awesome. The
interactions,
Timeless have time
and
phase.
Eternal Wisdom, bonus to experience gain.
Hold on. So
The lost are an ancient people
can you-
whose advanced knowledge could be our salvation, or the end of everything.
So I feel that's just taking off from Shadowlands,
Okay.
where Oribos, the city in Shadowlands, was basically the juncture of all of the afterlives.
Sure.
Shadowlands just explored the Shadowlands as it is known. It's the realm of death. but there are multiple different afterlives you explore, and there are 4, and then the 5th afterlife isn't really. It's just kind of like purgatory.
Sure.
Like not just purgatory on Earth kind of deal, but like it's the realm of just like, yeah, you can't be saved. You don't fit in any of the other ones. You're just going here, and you're basically tortured for all eternity, essentially.
Got it. Good purgatory stuff. Yeah, good purgatory stuff.
So Oribos was that city at the juncture of the 4 different timelines, and then the different realms of death, and then the Maw. So
perfect.
Yeah, again, this is just pulling straight from it, which is fine.
Perfect.
All right, I'll push play.
Okay.
As we know it, the once dominant civilization of Azeroth inhabited the lands now known as Uldum. Their mastery over time led to their downfall, as they pushed the boundaries too far and were erased from the timeline. They reside in the ruins of Valoran, a city that phases in and out of existence, now partially re-emerged due to the Echo Stones.
That sounds a little familiar to what they...
leave behind a temporal clone that players can teleport back to.
Okay, demon ability.
And Arcane Legacy, enhanced crafting abilities. Echoes of Azeroth will allow us to revisit the Reach story and characters that make up the world of Azeroth. Echo Resonance allows you to experience pivotal moments in history, taking on the roles of iconic heroes and villains to ensure key moments in time play out as they're supposed to. Time-warped crafting
heroes and villains, what are you talking about?
Creating gear with dynamic properties. And for our PvP enthusiasts, prepare for chrono battles. Engage in epic fights that span Azeroth's rich history, while putting the future of your character on the line.
Future of my character?
The lines between past and present
the echoes go forward.
Bringing forth challenges and allies from the annals of Azeroth's history.
Okay.
As you delve deeper, you'll confront old foes, ally with the timeless, and unravel the enigma of the lost. At the heart of this chaos lies the Labyrinth of Echoes, a raid that will test your mettle like never before.
Great.
Together, we'll face Saloran, a guardian corrupted by the very power he once protected.
Yeah, that doesn't happen ever.
An entity created by the timeless to
he looks like a Death Knight,
a
little bit.
Timelines.
Gold-colored Death Knight.
was entrusted with the Echo Stone's power.
Oh, the Infinity Crystals!
Thanos would be proud.
But with the chaotic events following Dragonflight and the reemergence of the Lost, the sheer energy output by the Echo Stones began to corrupt Saloran. The Guardian, instead of protecting the timelines,
Captain Planet,
sought to merge them into one reality where he would reign supreme. Now it's up to you to stem the tide of Saloran's assault before it's too late.
Oh no, Avengers Assemble.
Just the beginning. Join us as we embark on this epic journey through time.
Great.
Azeroth needs you now more than ever. So what did you
Interesting.
think? Everything that was written.
Let's pause it for a second, because I feel like we need to tell him what we think. What do we think, Alex?
Interesting. Again, it's hitting on story beats from several different expansions. Obviously, it's pulling from 15,000 publicly available pages of Warcraft information.
Right.
Honestly, I don't think I'd be impressed with that. That's too on the nose.
Yeah. It's time.
Like, oh, this bad guy was corrupted. That happens all the time.
Now he got the stones. He's got the
stones. Yeah, the Dragonflight's got stones too. The Oath Stones. We just fucking restored those.
Oops.
We've got this island that travels from the past to the present outside of time. It's like, yeah, we got one of those already too. Yep.
Yeah.
The races didn't sound interesting to me. Like, oh, they disappeared from the timeline, and I was like, hold up.
Yeah.
If they disappeared from the timeline, how are they still existing on the timeline?
Yeah.
Like, that doesn't make sense.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, it doesn't have to make total sense, but it's way too on the nose. This is exactly what you would expect from a World of Warcraft expansion if it was just formulaic.
Right. I mean, it seems like it's World of Warcraft, but in time capers. Like it's time crimes, guys.
Yeah.
But World of Warcraft.
I feel like an expansion focused on just time shenanigans.
Yeah.
could be interesting, but would get boring.
Yeah.
Like, we've already got enough timeline shenanigans going on throughout the game as is. Making it the central focus of the entire expansion would be a bit too much.
I can see an actual issue if we just decided, there's time travel, which is like what happens with every single fictional world where they install time travel. We end up with just paradoxes upon paradoxes, and in a world like World of Warcraft that already has kind of like a rich history, how many bootstrap principles are we going to come up against, and butterfly effects that we're going to have to mitigate? The only thing that would possibly work is if they are indeed maybe like Echoes itself, where they don't affect the actual world by and large, but then why are we doing it in the first place?
I don't know. It sounds interesting. I think the AI did a great job given it was doing what it was pulling from, obviously. Sure. I don't think any of the premises on their own would be bad. It's AI, it's doing it. It does what you tell it to do. It pulls from what you give it.
Yep.
And this is absolutely a product of what the guy gave it.
Right. Would you say, just because you're way more familiar with World of Warcraft than me, that the best parts of this are the ones that are essentially just stuff that they already put into the game?
Probably. Like the island going backwards and forwards in time sounds really, really neat, honestly. You could do interesting things with that. You could have it, 1 week it could be forward in time. It could be the future.
Yeah.
And then the next week it could have gone past, and it's just all of the entire environment changes, which could be really cool. But they've got something like that right now in game. In Dragonflight, it is the Primalist future.
Oh.
There's a section you go to. It's instance. It's a smaller area. It's not a huge zone. But it's essentially, you go into the Primalist future and defeat a couple bad guys and defend a couple portals to try and make sure this future doesn't happen. But it happens, in game. You can do it every however many times when it pops up, every hour, every other hour, something like that. But it's the same zone, but it looks different because it's full of blizzards and stuff. But then you can go back and it's normal again. That type of stuff can be interesting. I think this video was cool.
Yeah. I can see, we'll finish up what he has in a second, but one thing that I would say, just from ideation on my own, is it would be kind of neat. If they created a section of the map, they created a land in World of Warcraft where there was essentially a centralized city that's almost out of time, and then every week the lands around it actually changed from different periods of time, and then it cycled through so you would see it at different time periods, and then it would cycle back, and maybe there were specific things and instances, and you could see the history unravel over the course of 10 weeks or something, and then it goes back.
Yeah, it could be interesting. You'd have to do it well, and that would take a lot of art assets as well.
Oh, sure.
Just, the amount of work you would have to do to make it so something like that was doable and fun would be insane, I imagine.
And I don't... But, I don't see it as something that they're actually suggesting here in the...
I will lead that off with the fact that currently, because I have been listening to some Warcraft videos, because I've been playing, and Dragonflight's pretty good, honestly. The team on World of Warcraft currently is around 700 people. And that is up from the 90 people that originally worked on older games for it. And coming up next year is World of Warcraft's 20th anniversary. The Warcraft franchise's 30th anniversary. We can bet they are pulling out all the stops for it.
Yep.
Because they do big things for those anniversaries, and it's 20 years of Warcraft. They're gonna pull out the stops.
Yep.
One theory that had been floating around is that because BlizzCon is coming up probably in the next 2 months. I don't remember exactly when. It is October, November, I think. And a lot of people had been theorizing that the next big expansion was going to be piratey because of some in-game lore that people found that was dropped in this expansion.
Sure.
And Blizzard has actually come out and said, nope, not pirates.
Mm-hmm.
But on the other hand, data miners have found that being added to the game files but not implemented in the game are new HD versions of older assets.
Ah, okay.
And so the other thought people have that has all but been confirmed in news conferences and stuff by people that work like the big people in WoW, who, as Bellier Gaming was saying, they would not come out and say this to the press, knowing it would generate buzz and hype if they did not know what they were doing, because after 20 years of making a live service game, they probably learned not to write checks their mouth can't cash.
Yep.
And the thing that a lot of people are speculating for next year when that expansion drops is a revamp of the world. So all the older classic zones that you probably remember from when you played years and years ago, probably close to 15 years ago now, all those old zones and stuff potentially revamped into new HD textures and brought back in line. Because the other thing they actually have done is between the last expansion and this one, in-game has been a time skip.
Okay.
It's only been about 3 years in-game. But it's been a noticeable leap forward in time from where the game itself in-game has been.
Okay.
So...
interesting.
Yeah. I figured I'd leave us on that note for it, because I'm interested to see what they're doing. If this was the next expansion, I'd be like, okay.
Sure.
But I was also pleasantly surprised with how good Dragonflight was. I was not looking forward to it going up into it.
Sure.
And then it was like, actually, pretty fucking fun.
Yeah. That's good. You want to finish up the last little bit?
Sure.
To see what Labat says?
Yeah, we just got his closing. We'll see what he says, and then we'll jump into the next one. All right.
Certainly.
Even the voiceover was done thanks in part to our friends over at Tangia. Tangia uses artificial intelligence to
it's just an ad read?
Engaging streams.
Probably is.
They even provide a custom TTS model that lets you train your own AI voice model.
Whoa, we need this, Nathan.
Yay, we can do
for Tangia.
Yep. Referral link. Here you go.
Scratching the surface of what ChatGPT put together for this expansion. There's skill trees, new enemies, battle and raid mechanics, and a lot more. If you like the world of Echoes of Azeroth and you want to learn more about it, just let me know in the comments and I'll make sure to do a follow-up video. Until then, I've been Labat, and I'll see you in the next video, guys. Thanks, and have a good one. Bye.
Okay.
Thank you.
I kind of thought that seems like it was an awful lot of work to get an AI product.
A little bit.
But interesting. At least now that answers the question: if AI made Warcraft, what would it look like? I think that this has just basically confirmed to me something that I kind of already knew, which is that AI is not necessarily coming for your jobs unless they're making kind of ass media.
I will refer you to the wonderful, terrible AI generated headline that Helicity had shared in our general chat.
Yep.
Useless at 42.
Yes, the eulogy that they were giving because somebody had died. Please understand, and I feel like we need to make this clear, AI is not actually an artificial intelligence. We do call it AI, but it is not an artificial intelligence. It is what we would refer to as a stochastic parrot. It will take information that it gets and it will randomize it and it will put it out into a form based on the information that you put into it. If people are not there to put information into the system, it has nothing to pull from and it cannot create in a vacuum. It cannot build anything unique or that has not existed before. It has to be based on something that was created by a person at one point. And so that's the reason why in all of these fields, because we're having this conversation right now about AI and what the effect on many different medias are doing. That's actually the Writers Guild were very worried about that for the strikes. It's important to understand that all of this and the Actors Guild because they wanted to make AI models of them and just use them in perpetuity instead of the people.
No, that's so dumb.
Yeah. Understand, you create nothing new out of the system. You just randomize what has been in order to create new combinations. Yeah.
That I feel like the writers have nothing to fear if this is what we're getting.
I don't even think that the artists or the actors do, because I don't see how they utilize this to create. Well, okay, one minute.
We don't have to get into all AI right now. Interesting video. Let us know in the comments if you watched it. We'll leave a link to this video if you want to watch it yourself in the comments, because that's the nice thing to do.
Right.
Let us know what you thought of the Echoes of Azeroth trailer.
Yeah, the only thing that I'm going to say is that the ability for AI to actually succeed in any of these realms is based on what people expect out of their media and how much detail and, nuance they actually want. And I'm kind of scared by the answer that I would get from the majority of people out there in that regard.
Oh well.
But anyway, hit us up, let us know what you think. Can you create something better than Echoes of that? Maybe.
I can, really quick. Since the revamp is what people are theorizing, I feel like they should name it the Reshaping of Azeroth. Because it has to do in lore with the reshaping that Titans do of worlds.
Sure.
Yeah. Anyways,